All right, Jeanine, this is your documentation interview. So right now you're on your journey to lose.
My journey continues.
Yes, it does. So your total weight loss as of today, from when you started.
Just over 50 pounds.
50 pounds.
Yep.
So and you started at, what was your weight?
235.
Yeah, and you're currently sitting at
184.
boom.
So yeah.
So now, what would you say right now would be the hardest part, getting to this point in your journey?
The hardest part. Wow. That's.
Would it be the workouts? Would it be the food? Would it be the mindset?
Well, I think the food prepping is a challenge because, it takes a lot of time because I have a very busy schedule during the week. So I food prep on the weekends and it takes a good chunk of time. But I find that if I don't properly meal prep, then it's a lot easier to fall off the nutrition path. And nutrition is very important, of course, on this 100%. Journey. And so I think that probably would be my biggest challenge. It's just the food prepping itself because of the time that it takes. So, when you have the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and you spend a big chunk of that, so there's not much left for social time sometimes, but I've gotten used to it at this point. But that probably will be the biggest challenge. I won't say hard, nothing, I won't say that it was hard, it's just challenging.
It's a challenge. Yeah. It's a whole time management plus, prioritize, what you really want. Whatever your goal is, and your goal has to be very, very strong, and your reason why to get there has to outweigh a lot of others.
Right.
Yeah. So right now, mindset wise, we go back and forth throughout the journey. We have good weeks, we have bad weeks. I won't say not so good weeks. I won't say bad weeks.
Right.
We have really strong. We see that everything is really hitting target numbers, but then sometimes we hit that steady, slowish weight loss. And tell me a little bit more about your mindset going into those times.
When I get on the scale on Mondays when it's my weigh-in and it hasn't moved like I would hope it does, I may have a moment of like crap, I'm working hard, why is this happening, but it's only a fleeting moment because it's just like, okay, let's regroup, talk to Jimmy, talk to Allie, see what we need to modify. So my mindset maybe for a fleeting second is like, all right, this sucks. But I never, because of my personality, I never stay in that headspace for long because what's the point of a pity party? It
doesn't get you there.
Right. You got to regroup and you got to get moving. You can't let it stop you, especially at this point where I've come so far now. There's no way that 1 week of not necessarily seeing the number move the way I want it to deter me from keep moving. Continue. If anything, it motivates me to work harder.
Right,
so,
exactly.
Yeah.
And in those times, you really take it upon hopefully the community to help you get through that.
Yes.
You speak to fellow members, they boost you up. They get you past that little bit of the kind of the headspace that you come in the morning and you're like, oh, I didn't have the strongest weigh-in, or I didn't reach that goal I wanted to, and then everybody rallies around you.
Oh, definitely.
And tell you like, hey, listen, we're behind you.
Yes. Oh no, this community it's great. I mean, I've belonged to gyms in the past, the chains and everything, and you definitely don't get that personalized feedback or support because everybody, you go to the gym, you get on the treadmill, or you get on the elliptical, you do your whatever, and then you're out. But it's like in this setting, everybody is rooting for you. Everybody, I genuinely feel like everyone is in my corner wanting me to succeed and encouraging me, you know, and you know, a lot of times with the workouts, I'm the last to finish or whatever, but you know, they rally around me and you know, and encourage me to keep going, and to push me. Yeah. So I love that.
To finish.
Yeah.
To finish, and it's the journey. Yeah. Really
Absolutely.
You know, everything happens, you know, with the community, with the tribe. Everything has to
takes a village.
Be out there in front of everyone's eyes, because they're here to help you.
Right.
And they're here to boost you up when, you know, you're not having a good day, but then they're also going to be the first ones to congratulate when you do reach that goal. You know, and each time you get there, you just get that camaraderie that you don't get from a gym or a global gym that just, you know, don't know who you are. You know?
Right.
And having that backing confidence is what really also is that unmeasured element that helps you get there. You know, is that camaraderie. So set aside that. Let's go a little bit more of like, what would you say food-wise? What would be like your not so healthy not say cheat meal, I wouldn't say that, but what would you say would be like your go-to if you had to choose anything? You're like, okay, it's probably not on my diet, but it's hard to say no to this.
I really have not had a cheat day or a cheat meal. I mean, at one time I had a half an Oreo cookie, if you want to count that, because it was like, well, back on my birthday, I did get a slice of cake, but I told everybody, because they thought it was so funny, I sliced it in like 9 pieces. And I ate it over a 2-week period.
A little bit, right?
Yeah, and so I because the thing about me, when I get focused on something, it's very hard. Once I get focused, I most times I don't get off track. So I think more of a challenge when it comes to food is when I'm out or I'm traveling. Because when I was on travel for work, I was off my schedule because I eat a certain time of day, you know, certain meals that I prepare. So when you're on travel, you don't have that control because you're eating out, and I'm you know, it's travel for work. So I may not, you know, where I'm used to having breakfast at a certain time, I might not be able to get it at that time. So traveling was a challenge, is a challenge with this, you know, and trying to not cheat while you're traveling, you know, because I was at a restaurant and everybody's sitting there and they're having rice and bread and, you know, and it's in front of you and you're like.
Exactly, it's calling you.
Yeah.
It's like, it could be easy.
Right.
Just, you know, go ahead and indulge.
Right, but you know, I just stayed focused, and I was like, that bread isn't going to get me to where I'm trying to go. So, you know,
it's a lot of choices.
Right, exactly.
It's just a choice. You know?
Yeah.
And sometimes your choice again is going to be sticking towards you know, the ultimate goal of getting. What is your goal? What is your ultimate goal?
I'd like to lose like about 30 to 35 more pounds.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that's realistic.
Yeah.
My timeline, I may have to move it back, but I was hopeful that it would be by the end of October. But if I have to push it back a little bit, then so be it. But the point is just to keep going.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing, is to keep going.
Time is time.
Right.
And the journey is going to take as long as it needs to take.
Right.
And the lessons you learn.
Because I'm not a spring chicken, so.
Well, I mean, the biggest thing is that now age is not a factor. I mean, it's an element that you have to consider, but it's not going to be where I can't do this because of.
Oh no, it's not I can't, but you know, realizing that as you age, it is a little more difficult, and as a woman at this stage of life that I'm in, it also, you know, is an additional variable in the equation of challenges.
And you went through this before, 10 years ago.
10 years ago,
and
right.
you had very fast results, and different results in a way. And you explained that, you got to that goal and you were able to get there.
Right.
Tell me a little bit more about, say 10 years ago, your process, and then compare it to now.
Well, I think 10 years ago, I didn't even have a goal in mind. 10 years ago, it just kind of started, like one day I just got up and just said, you know what, I'm going out for a walk. So it was not a calculated move, it just kind of happened. And then a friend of mine who's a trainer, he and I started talking, and then the next thing you know, he was like, oh, well, I'll help you with this journey. And then that's kind of how it started. And I think that maybe the reason why the focus wasn't like it is this time was probably contributed to why I eventually fell off the wagon and gained the weight back, because it's different, because this time around I'm focused. It's about my health, whereas then I don't know. Maybe it was about vanity then. I don't know, but it definitely was different. I'm definitely in a different headspace, right. Because this time around it's all about my health. Yeah. It's all about a better quality of life. It's about getting rid of the diabetes, which I have to say, my last checkup 2 weeks ago, I'm no longer a diabetic. I no longer have high cholesterol. I no longer have the high blood pressure, which, within the Black community, those things run rampant. And to now not be in that statistic that's so fuel enough to keep going. And and so this time, fast forward 10 years to now, it's just, I'm in a much better headspace. Yeah. And that's why I really know that this time around, I'm not going to go back on the up part of this roller coaster.
You've been there.
Yes.
You've been there, and you know what happens when you're there.
Right.
Okay, you can feel it. So, and that is so powerful, because there's a lot of times people, look at the vanity part of it. They want to look better. They want to see those pounds come off, and then they want to get into, tighter fitting clothing, and that's one aspect. But then there's another aspect of health
which is really the most important.
Health and function. What can you do now that you couldn't?
I can climb in my attic now. Yeah. I couldn't do that.
You did that before, right? Now you're running.
Yes.
You're running, and you haven't run like that.
Yeah.
In a long time.
Yes.
So things like that starting to come back, where you're starting to use your body as a tool instead of having it be a crutch. And then you're able to perform, and you're a nurse. So I mean, you're having to care for another human being. You have to take care of yourself as well, so that you can take care of someone else.
Right.
And you've been with your client for
23 years.
23 years now, right? So you've been with them for a long time, and then they've seen you in your journey with this.
Right.
And I'm sure, they've seen, wow, my goodness, how much they applaud your efforts and how much they see you reach your goal.
They're very supportive. The family that I work with, their son, and they are extremely supportive. When we have had family events, they are very mindful of choosing a restaurant that they're like, oh, well, we need to choose something where Jeanine can get something, there's a meal for Jeanine. Right. And I think that's very kind of them, because they don't have to do that. Right. But yeah, and that's the difference too this time versus 10 years ago, because no one knew I was on this journey 10 years ago, except for me and my trainer. Right. I didn't tell anybody. I just did it. But this time, I brought my village in. Right. Not just here in the community of performance, mindful performance, but my friends, my family, and I'm also journaling. I'm keeping a weight loss journal. Didn't do that 10 years ago. So that's been really interesting, because it has given me the opportunity to go back sometimes and kind of see where I was and what headspace I was in. So that's been very interesting to kind of like, read some of the entries of just, this has been 7 months now.
Yes.
So I'm really excited to continue this journey.
Yeah, I love it. I love it, Jeanine. So I thank you so much for doing this, again, documenting your journey to get to that goal. We got another 30 to 35 pounds.
Yes, but we can do this.
We will see you in the next few months when we're there.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
So much. Bye-bye. That's awesome.